Yo, 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 welcome to Crate 808, and today we've got a very special guest on board. TV presenter and actress Joelah Noble is in the house. How are you doing? Boo.
I'm good. I'm so excited, honestly. Thanks for having me.
Man, thank you for being on. The energy. I'm here for that excited energy, man. Definitely. Yeah. So, Joelah, man, thank you for coming on. I know that we talked about having you on talking about just like 90s hip hop, and I know you're a big fan. So we went with, you picked Eve's 99 album, Let There Be Eve. So I'm here for that because we've got to go in for that. But before we get in, I've got to ask you what I ask everyone that comes on. What's the least hip hop thing you've done in the last 24 hours?
In the last 24 hours? Oh, you know what? My friend actually, right before I came on this call, my friend sent me a voice note, and we randomly enough, we were talking about like brushing our teeth and cleaning our tongues, right? We were just talking about bad breath and stuff, and how it's really important to clean your tongue, brush your tongue. And this was a conversation yesterday, and she voice noted me today and said, I just remembered that when you were talking about brushing your teeth yesterday, instead of saying tap, you said faucet.
Oh, what? Why?
And that was weird.
Why? Oh, but then it's the Brooklyn coming in out of you, right? It's the Brooklyn coming out of you.
It must be. It must be. It must be. I didn't even think of that, but it actually must be.
Yo, 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 quick reminder, if you're enjoying the show, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you'll be kept up to date with all that we're doing. And also, man, get involved in the YouTube comments. Man, we love hearing from you fellow hip-hop heads. We love nerding out. So bring those takes and just bring that flavour, man, and we might even shout you out on the show. So yes, appreciate all the support. Now, back to the episode.
Oh my god! I was just like, did I really say that?
Yeah, I know. That's mad how the mind goes there. And great tips for bad breath. Always clean the tongue. I'm with you.
Well, I was saying, like, what's really imperative is to have a tongue scraper, but also to, like, you know, wet the toothbrush and then brush your tongue, and then just keep wetting it until the tongue is pink. It needs to be pink, not white.
Yes. I am not showing you my tongue. If that's where it's going, that it's not happening.
Listen, mine might even be a bit crusty right now. I brush my teeth, but you never know.
You don't. Not when you put on the spot. And you've been on telly and everything. You don't need that.
Exactly.
My wife will be a big fan of this conversation. She hardly ever listens to our podcast, but she's a big fan of the tongue scraper. So I'm just going to direct her to these few minutes, and then she can clock out. But
she's a smart woman. I know it already.
Exactly. Good. You say the right things. So yeah, no, this is it, right? So on that though, two things then. One, because you picked this album, there's been a lot of Eve in the house, so she's loving that. She's not so into the hardcore. She loves more the R&B angles, so loving that. And two, talking about bad breath, I only just listened to this album again recently yesterday, and there's a skit where Eve's having a go at a man about bad breath.
Yeah. Is it the one right before Maniac? Is that the skit?
Yeah, that's good knowledge.
Yeah. Yes. Where they're outside of the club. It's like they're outside the club and they're talking to the guys and they're laughing at them. He's got fake jewelry and stuff.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, snapping on him. Love it. Yeah. And again, that guy probably could have done with the tongue scraper. So now we know.
He should have. If only, you know.
We need more hip hop skits with tongue scrapers involved now. This is where we've got to go with it.
We need more hip hop skits. Point. Period. Blank.
Do you think?
That? Yes, I feel like I haven't heard a hip hop skit in ages.
Do you know what? They have died out a little bit. They have, but they got really like rubbish after a while. I don't know. There were some really poor ones. Like I don't know how many times I need to hear like there was one where Redman's just pissing, and I don't know if I need that in my life generally to hear a grown man urinating whilst I'm trying to enjoy music.
Iconic, you know.
It is iconic, though. You're right. It's iconic. It's what he's known for.
Exactly.
But yeah, man. So thank you for bringing this album. But I really touching from the jump. Really, why? Why was it this album you wanted to get into?
Well, I must say it was a really difficult decision for me to make. Being that I grew up in Brooklyn in the 90s, I mean, I was a kid, you know. When this came out, I was like 8, 9 years old. I didn't really understand what she was talking about, but I just remember that I loved her. She's the reason that I wanted to be a rapper. And I say it was, I know, it didn't quite work out for me, but I definitely did.
There's time.
But I say it was there's still time.
Exactly.
But I say like it's a tough decision for me to make because there were so many other 90s albums. I know initially I said I wanted to do Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of, but if I'm being totally honest with myself, that is not an album that I fully like consumed as a kid. Like as an 8-9-year-old, I was not listening to Lauryn Hill and fully deep in the deepness of the situation.
Yeah.
Although when she came out with Do Up, that thing, I was there watching it thinking, oh my gosh, are they twins? Are they like two different people? Because she like played two different characters in the video. But yeah, I really understood like the deepness of that album as an adult more so than a child. I also wanted to go for Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, because he's my favorite rapper of all time.
We got to get into that.
Yeah, we can.
There's a conversation there.
Yeah, 100%. But it's the same thing. Like I felt like as a kid, I really wasn't listening to Reasonable Doubt. You know, it wasn't my sound as a kid when I was 7 or when it come out in 96.
Yeah, 96-ish.
Yeah, like I'm 5-6 years old. Like I am not listening to Reasonable Doubt. It's something that I really embraced as an adult, you know?
Yeah.
But again, Eve was someone that I really looked up to. She wasn't overly sexualized. Not that that was something that I had a problem with either, to be honest, but I just felt like I could relate to what she was saying a bit more, even though I had no experience in life. But I just loved her style. Yeah. And I used to go through this album, every song I used to like write the lyrics. I used to pause it and write the lyrics because like I just needed to know. I would totally get it wrong. Now looking back, I'm like, I really thought she said things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I still really love Eve and I still look up to her. I think what she's accomplished in her life, like she had a whole TV show. Man. And it was her, like, it's so funny because her character's name was not Eve, but the name of the show was Eve. I'm like, how amazing is that? Like, you are an icon.
I know. I think that's the thing with Eve as well. Like, I think it depends on what conversations you're having, obviously. But like, the people that I feel get talked about a lot. Foxy, Kim, Missy. If you're talking about female artists, And I sometimes was like, do you know what? But actually going what Eve's done, it's incredible.
Don't disrespect my girl.
I'm not.
Like, everyone I feel like she's just looked over. Like, she is an icon. We need to appreciate everything that she did. When that album came out, like, Ruff Ryders were huge back in them days. They were a movement.
Yes.
And she was the first female to come on that team. You know, it was... the paw prints on her chest. Like, it was just a vision. I love...
Yo, us here at the Crate 808 podcast have finally kicked off our Patreon. So if you don't know what Patreon is, it's a platform where you can go and for a small donation, you can help support us make more hip hop content for you. Go on to patreon.com/Crate 808 and you can check out all the little payment options you've got there. You can check out the 2 new episodes you'll be getting every month, live chats with us guys, just to rap nerd out with you guys. We're going to go into some wide-ranging episodes, delving into the work of the Wu-Tang Clan, MF Doom and J Dilla, so get it locked if you want that new granular look at hip-hop. So go to our payment tiers on Patreon, big up yourselves. If you choose to support us, thank you so much. I will give you a personalised shout out on the show and we shall catch you in one of these live rooms and let's get this community going. So spread the word. Much love for your time and peace out. Boom. I love how much she cared about her visual identity as well as her on track, because everything is thought out.
Platinum blonde hair.
Yeah, the platinum blonde hair, sometimes with the braids, sometimes with the... And I just watched... I was watching a few music videos because I like watching old music videos and stuff, and she really went in, man. Like, she was choreographing a little bit and everything. I was like, well, yeah. Like, she knew what she was doing, man. Absolutely.
I loved it.
Yeah. So That's interesting you're saying that. I love the fact that you've gone for something a bit more like, you know, this is just what you were into. And that's what I love about music, end of the day, right? Because I don't know many people who were doing that to this album. But for you to hear this album and then be like, what, 8 or 9? So you're hearing stuff on here that's like, I mean, there's some real upbeat stuff, there's some grimy stuff, and there's some real honesty.
Yeah, exactly. It gets deep. There's layers to it, actually. For real, I didn't even fully understand that. There's layers to it. She talks about domestic abuse.
Yeah.
She talks about like her journey personally as well. I think she was only about 20 when this was released as well. I didn't even know that until recently. I kind of looked it up because I wasn't sure.
Crazy.
And she talks a lot of gun talk as well. So yeah, like as a kid who hasn't even hit double digits, you know, it was raw for me, but I wasn't out there trying to shoot people. It didn't, you know, it didn't influence me to do that, but it definitely influenced me to really want to be a rapper. I was definitely a gangster growing up. Just no one could mess with me.
OG over here, Joelah.
My friends, like in the neighborhood, who were like my big brothers, because they would know like my older siblings and my mum and stuff. They nicknamed me Thugged Out Barbie.
Thugged Out Barbie, look at that. T.O.B. Thugged Out Barbie. Let's get that.
T.O.B.
I need that album. It'll be fire.
I'll be married.
But I love it. I love that. Yeah. So the similarities are there then, right? Because Eve comes out with, I mean, hip hop's hyper masculine in '99 anyway, but
exactly,
not only are you coming out in a hyper masculine like arena, you're coming out with someone like DMX, where it's like the most masculine rapper.
Oh, I just clocked your jumper. I love that,
man. Jonathan Mannion. Yeah, I mean, I bought this last year, and I was just thinking about X a lot last year, and then he passed, and it was just like, man, it's just just so sad. I mean, again, having him as your bigger brother. And she goes toe to toe with him, I feel, on them tracks.
On Dot Match.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I was
love
like,
it.
damn, she was not like drowning at all. She was like on it with him. And I know, like, you know, he carried that hook and stuff. But to be fair, I'm going to go there now. We've acquainted ourselves a little bit. So we need to talk about Swizz Beats' production generally.
Oh, amazing.
Right.
I love Swizz Beats.
Okay. Are you one of those Swizz Beats fans that sees nothing wrong, or are you one a bit like me where I love Swizz? He shaped this era for me, right? Him and Pharrell, I would say.
Yes, yeah.
Right, but when I'm playing this now, there are moments where I'm like, damn, that's not aged very well. I'm sorry.
What moments are you talking about? I need to know.
Right, okay. I thought this might happen. I thought, I think the main culprit for me, and it might be the skit as well, is Philly Philly. Like,
I love Philly Philly.
Come on, man. The way, right? I want to, and I feel I probably did at some point in my life. Yeah. But of all the great, and this is a great album, as in when I listen back, man, I can pick 4, 5, 6 bangers easy off top. So it's a great album, but it's worse when you have Philly Philly, where it's her coming out party, yeah? This is her Philadelphia track. And I was like, one, it's got Beanie on it, that's fine. But I don't know, it didn't sound Philly. And I was like, you've worked with the Roots. Imagine if Black Thought was on it. Imagine just doing that. And that, I think it's a missed opportunity, but two, just Swizz on the beat going Philly, Philly. It doesn't fill me with anything
Philly,
anymore.
where I am from.
Yeah.
Philly.
See, when you do it, there's life to it. There's some.
That's what. Maybe you had it down too low or something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Philly,
it was.
Represent PHILA. No,
okay, I know who I'm talking to now.
No, but I can see fault in any work. Like,
yeah.
It's all a matter of opinion. And sometimes I feel like Swizz Beats is maybe a bit jarring sometimes. Yeah. Not very often though. Like I do tend to like his music because he has produced a lot of what I like Eve. Yeah. He's done a lot of production for Jay-Z as well. So
yeah, absolutely.
You know, I love the guy. What was I going to say? But yeah, no, I feel like Philly is a Philadelphia anthem. It made me actually want to go to Philadelphia.
Okay,
it made me want to try a Philly cheesesteak. And I felt like a movement, and I felt
Yeah.
that energy from them and that passion from them. So it's so interesting that you don't feel that way.
I think it
at all.
might be
And
the
also,
skit. Go on.
Also, no, the skit's good. What do you mean?
No, because it just makes me think of my uncle when he's in the shop and like people are coming in and saying he's not English, and I'm like, he is. He's in Newcastle for like 10 years.
So, do you know what? I will say that when I listened to the skit again, that part I did think probably didn't age so well.
Yeah. And it's not that funny either. Like when Fugees were doing skits, this is the thing with your skits.
Yeah.
You say you want more. They're Fugees skits are great. Snoop skits are great. You know, Dre, all their skits are great. But sometimes they do fall flat. And I don't know if it's that. But I don't want to start on a negative foot at all with this album. But I had to just see where you were at with it.
That's fine. We can talk about this. I've got 2 more points to make on what we're talking about.
Please do.
One, with this skit, I do feel like it was good, other than a couple comments probably made that I feel like may, be a bit sensitive. I feel like it's taken from a very real conversation that probably would have happened.
That's true.
Especially when you're talking about a staple food choice like the Philly cheesesteak in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
People are going to have different ideas of what goes in it.
Yeah.
And it also speaks of the diversity as well at the time.
You're making a good argument.
I like this. I didn't even know I had this in me.
It's coming out. But it's true.
It's a very real reflection of what a conversation would be like in a shop, in the corner store, in a bodega in Philadelphia at that time. So I still really enjoy it. And the other point I was going to make is the Roots, like that song, You Got Me, with the Roots, Erykah Badu and Eve. It's my favorite song of all time.
Wow.
I can cry just talking about it right now. I love that song so much.
Yeah.
And the fact, I'm going off point now, but the fact that like it's the only song that Erykah Badu sang that she didn't write herself.
Yeah.
She only sings music that she writes herself. Jill Scott wrote that hook, and I love Jill Scott as well. I love Erykah and I love Jill Scott. That song was just everything that I love. That is the first song that I really feel like I looked at and I was like, wow, like this is deep. Like this is a deeper kind of hip hop that I hadn't experienced before that.
Yeah.
But if Black Thought was on that tune, it wouldn't be that tune. It would be all soulful, and the album's not like, come on.
There's no soul in the album. Is that what you're saying? Is there no soul to Swizz Beats' production?
That. No, you dare make me say that about my EVE.
No, but I'm joking. But yeah, I do understand. Yes, that soul, it's a mismatch. But a remix or something, I don't know, it would have been nice. But yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, I know you don't agree with me and you're being polite. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm glad you know.
Now I know, and the listeners and the watchers know. But yeah, but actually, you talk about remixes, and again, thank you for bringing this album because there's cuts on here that I'd forgotten I used to rinse. Maniac one, definitely. There's something about Missy Elliott, a punk Missy Elliott on the Dough track, Ain't Got No Dough, and I was not ready. I was not ready for that type of song then. Like I was like, what? It's really weird. It's off kilter, but it's so good. It's of its own.
I remember my dad came to New York to visit us, and he had a camcorder, one of them real old school ones.
Yeah.
And I was like rehearsing and singing the song and singing all the words, and I'm like, I was again a kid, I was a child, I didn't even reach double digits. Damn. And I'm singing Ain't Got No Dough, broke ass, ain't got cash flow, y'all know y'all can't buy, like singing in the club trying to impress this.
Wow, I'd be so proud if that was my 9-year-old. I'd be like, wow, look at that.
But you know what, with that song, I would say that one, as much as I still love it, if I have to say there's any song that hasn't aged well, I would kind of say that, mainly because of the content. And I feel like, we're just talking about rinsing men for their money.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
If you don't have money, then you can't talk to me. Yeah. Like it's quite shallow.
Yeah.
And I guess I feel like men are under so much pressure. and have been for a very long time. Obviously, I'm not a man, but from the outside looking in, like to provide. And so, you know, for a song to berate you for not having enough money, it's a bit sad, isn't it?
It's
really
interesting.
But,
I never saw it that way. But no, you're right. You are absolutely right. But I also think she's so young that, especially young artists, they tend to just put everything into their first few albums. And sometimes it's very like, if it's not this way where it's kind of twisted kind of morality a little bit, but also principles kind of thing, also like just really derogatory, really like just juvenile, like but then I was a juvenile when I was listening to Doggy Style, so it's like, oh yeah, it's funny. And then 10 years later, you've like, you know, you're like, you're with your missus and you're like, that doesn't work as well. But I do get you, I do. But I was going to say remixes, man, I love What You'll Want. I know it's a hit and classic. What You'll Want is a classic. But the remix, man, oh my days. I don't know if it's lockdown or what, but I feel like I'm on holiday when that hook kicks in. And it's like,
that's the only one that I will skip.
Oh my, we are not getting on.
We're not aligning here today, are we?
At all. I don't know, the Puerto Rico thing in the... Oh, man, I don't know. There's something... Yeah. I enjoy the way you flipped it. I did. And plus, What You'll Want isn't on the album. So I think if the original was on it, then I might be like, might give that a skip.
I think that's why I'm sad, because the original's not on it, and then you've got this bootleg one that doesn't sound as good. The tempo is not the same, and I want to sing it how I'm used to singing it, and it's not it.
Variety is a spice of life, Joelah. Variety is a spice of life, my friend.
I'm a nostalgic kind of gal. Yeah. I'm very sentimental. I want the same thing that I had.
No, I get you. I get you. Is that the video where she's got the blonde braids? I can't remember, because
I think she's got... I haven't seen that video in a long time actually, but I think she's got the blonde braids and like a ball gown.
Yeah. That's it. That's the one I'm thinking of.
There's like fireworks and stuff in the back.
Because that's the first time I think I really saw her. I saw her on telly like that, and I was like, oh, right. She don't look like Ruff Ryders. And then the next thing you see, she's got the crew cut, and she's like, I was like, wow. No, now she... Yeah,
that was her first single released with the Ruff Ryders.
Right. And it was on that Volume 1, innit? That Volume 1, which is a banger. Absolutely. So going into the album then, there were a few other bits. I know we've talked quite a bit of it anyway, but like, I did think, again... There's tracks on here that fit our categories that we talk about. Most rewindable moments, hidden gems. Do you have any most rewindables or like, you know, hidden gems that you were like, nah, that one needs to be talked about a bit more?
Honestly, I love this whole album. I'm not even gassing to you. I really love it. The most rewindable will probably be like Maniac.
Yes.
If I'm getting ready to go out, or if I'm on my way somewhere with my friends or something, I think Maniac is one of those.
The energy is high.
Jumpy. Yeah, I love it. And it's kind of funny as well. She shows a lot of personality. And that's another thing. She's quite versatile, like how she uses her voice as well. That's another thing that I fell in love with Eve for, like how she kind of dragged her words, and she sounded quite sexy as well, but also quite tough. I loved it. But yeah, Maniac, I love Stuck Up, because that's an example of her like dragging and, you know. Lady Joelah, smelling like you on Dolce do well. Like just, you know, Scenario 2000.
Yes.
Dog Match. Like, I just love it.
So on Scenario, Dog Match is great as well. On Scenario, first of all, I love the nod to Tribe. Always great to have that. I don't think they disrespected them. I think like they actually like delivered. It's like some great verses on there. I know you want to be a rapper, right?
Yeah.
So Thugged Out Barbie. Say you're a rapper and you could be on any track on this album. Which track would you like to have blessed?
Which track would I want to be on? All right, can't be Philly because I'm not from Philly, never been to Philly. We're not doing Ain't Got No Dough. Can't do Love Is Blind because, like, she said everything she needs to say there.
That's a solo,
Love matches her and DMX, so I'm not trying to get involved in that.
Don't, I can hear your Maniac.
It could be Maniac. it could be Scenario 2000.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it would be. Yeah, I like. Can I swear?
Yeah, of course you can.
We on that shit.
We on that shit? Yeah. Yeah.
I like that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a slept on one.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's got
yeah.
tunes. And you know what else she's good at? Telling stories. So
Yeah.
we on that shit. She's talking about robbing someone, and it's like I can see it.
Yeah, yeah. The facility again. She's not just that. Like, we haven't talked about Love Is Blind. Now, figure that's probably one of the 5 mic moments. Like when you have a moment of perfection on the album. I feel like, and you were 8 or 9 hearing that. I remember at that time when I'd heard that. Well, I think the skit again. That's one thing I just realised this album does really well. It marries the skits up to the tracks quite well. So that skit, I remember just being a kid and like I'd never heard that. Like really, not that it had really hit me in the head, and that really got me. And Love Is Blind was a track where I was just like, wow, blow. This is your. She wrote that as well. Like debut album, you're bringing that to the table. And I'm not sure if she maintained it. I didn't really follow her as much after Scorpion, so I'm not sure if she maintained that kind of songwriting or that impact of that kind of songwriting. But the fact she did bring it with that. I don't know what you think about Love Is Blind.
I love Love Is Blind. It's sometimes, I must say, as I was, as I grew older, sometimes I would have to skip it because it's just so deep.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't want to cry when you listen to it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of her best songs, 100%, and it's still relevant to this day. It's one of the songs that have aged the best in this collection, 100%, because it's still relevant. Things are still happening. Domestic abuse is very real and happening every single day. So she speaks on something so raw and so real that so many people can relate to. So yeah, she's amazing for that, and quite brave as well to do a skit like that and to do a song like that.
And again, in a very masculine environment like Ruff Ryders. So it always makes me think the prism of how I saw her was through RR, like double R, like Swizz and all that. And I was just thinking, like, it's amazing that they had the foresight to not just be another, I'm not being like, I don't want to name any names, but like there's certain groups in the 90s that were so masculine, you can never imagine them being vulnerable on a track, ever.
Yeah, it's true.
And like,
one tune is you talking about robbing someone or guns and all of that stuff, and the other tune is you talking about domestic abuse and really, hitting that subject hard and delivering.
Very
on
DMX,
that as well.
Very DMX, man.
Yeah,
he was the same.
Real.
That's what I miss about him, man. Like just being real. Just being like, this is me and this is what I have to put up with, and almost like therapy for himself. And I feel like Eve almost had a little bit of that. Like, I wish I had heard more of the more recent stuff, because I don't know if she went straight pop or if she did do more of that. And, because every time I see her in an interview, she's very open. She's very, like, just cool.
Yeah. I want to meet her so badly.
She lives in London now.
I know she does. And she goes to my hairdresser.
What?
I know. And I've never met her. I want to stalk the hairdressers night and day just to wait until she goes in. I don't even know what I would say, honestly. Like,
really?
I just love her. And I'm really not like a fan. Like I'm a fan of so many people and their talent, but I don't idolize anyone, like that. But Eve, I'm like, I love you. I just love what she's done.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Man, that hairdresser is going to get battered after this.
Oh, I know. That's what I was going to say to you. She released Scorpion afterwards and Evolution as well. And those albums were really good. Like, I think it was Scorpion that had the Gwen Stefani tracks.
Oh, Blow Your Mind. Yeah.
And Evolution had bangers on it as well. After that, I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to
same
whole album non-stop kind of thing.
Yeah. I like that on Blow Your Mind. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I was going to say, I like that on Blow Your Mind where she hooked up with Dre again. Because that whole Dre story is so like, again, you're so young. And
Exactly.
For people
So
who
she
don't
was.
know, sorry, go on. No, Joelah, tell the story, man. Tell the story.
We're excited about this. She was signed to Dre, basically, wasn't she? And didn't release an album under
Man.
his label at all. It just didn't work out for them. But when she went to LA, she met with DMX, and that's how she joined Ruff Ryders.
Yeah.
And like Swizz Beats started producing her stuff. But it's so amazing to see that after her Ruff Ryders, after working with Swizz, like she went back with Dre and created absolute magic.
Yeah.
It was meant to be.
Like a classic pop song. And Dre loving to do his pop stuff. And she became a bit of a pop star at that point, I feel. Like proper,
Yeah.
like people, like my mum knew that song. Do you know what I mean? It was like, yeah, everyone knows that song.
Yay!
But
That
it's
makes
like,
me really happy.
yeah, but do you know what I mean? It was just everywhere. But then, you know what, ironic about that Dre thing as well, thinking about it now, was like, because she signed to him, he signed Eminem, and then she got pushed to the side. He didn't have time for her. And then, do you know how she hooked up with Ruff Ryders? It was like her manager said, I've got a guy coming in. No, that was for Dre. How she signed to Dre. Do you know how she signed to Dre?
No, tell us. Tell
Right,
us.
sorry, I didn't know. Right, so she took this guy that she knew the right-hand man of Dre. So her manager was like, he's going to come to town. He wants weed. So pretend you're the weed girl. And when he gets there, we're not going to give him any weed. We're just going to play the music and you're going to freestyle. She got signed to Dre off that. So one through a drug deal, and the second time she got signed to Ruff Ryders. Imagine again for a young girl, anyone, that they said, okay, yeah, bring her over. They just put a cipher on the go, and she had to battle.
Oh yeah, I knew about that one.
And I was like, man, she's like 18, and it's like, do or die, man.
When it comes to the hip hop game and battling, that's on brand. So
yeah, for sure.
She was prepared to do that. She did it.
Yeah.
She smashed it. And yeah, she got into Ruff Ryders from that. The drug deal, that is hilarious.
It's mad, isn't it? Because she was like, I ain't got any weed. It don't matter. Just rap. He'll forget about the weed.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, fascinating. But then, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say that also speaks on like how important it is to just go for it in life and whatever it is that you want to do. You know, the fearlessness that surrounded that was amazing. And I'm sure she probably was a bit nervous, like, oh gosh, like what if he don't like me or whatever, but she still did it. And that's super inspiring.
Yeah, definitely, man. Actually getting that fortitude to do it. But then just hit me just now, we're talking about M, and it's weird that she's doing songs like Love Is Blind when Eminem in that same year probably is doing tracks about killing women. And you're like, hip hop is actually just so mad at that point where I can imagine if you're an abuse victim and you hear an M, that isn't exactly, you know what I mean? And that she's doing and hip hop again, I love the fact that it was covering bases that, you know, for everything that was so wild, there was always so much soul and heart and love, you know? Yeah. So yeah, man, absolutely.
Wow, that's crazy actually when you think about that, because Eminem is my favorite rapper. I really love Eminem. His album, the Eminem Show, was the first album I ever spent my actual money on. Right. Before, my mum used to just buy me all the albums. This one, I went to the shop and I remember putting the $20 on the counter for the album, and I was thinking, oh, I hope they let me buy it because it's explicit content.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I think Eminem is so talented, but it's really true what you say. That's crazy that he's talking about that stuff back in them days.
I know.
I don't think he would ever be able to release them kind of tunes now.
I don't know. Yeah, it's mad because he said words as well on his last few. I don't know if you've heard his last few, but against Tyler and like using like the F word. And that just feels really odd to a mature rapper who's kind of grown and the music's grown with them. And it's quite nice when you hear the music grow with you because you're like, oh yeah, I can still listen to hip hop because they're all, you know, we all learn, we all educate ourselves. And then when you hear like M just 3 years ago using that same word, you're like, mate, you know what that word carries. And he apologised and stuff. But again, I do think there's this, I know we're going off a little bit here, but I do think it's interesting like how he just played an act, like a whole massive character that he probably isn't even that character. But sometimes it's hard to separate the art from that, especially in hip hop, right? Because it's what you're saying.
It's like a reflection of who you are. This is words coming out of your mouth. So, you know, 100%. I haven't listened to Eminem's latest album. After Encore, I kind of wasn't really listening to his music.
Yeah.
Still think he's super talented, but it just wasn't hitting the same. And I think it's because he wasn't working with Dr. Dre.
Yeah. He thought he could produce and then found out he couldn't. So, no, I'm sorry for all the Eminem fans. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I know lyrically, he's one of the best still, you know? I would never take that away from him, but...
Just the beats.
We need to... It's one thing being lyrically amazing and another thing actually having good tunes.
Yeah. A bit like your favourite rapper, Jay-Z, which we need to talk about.
Yeah.
No. In a good way. Like, it's Jay-Z, man. Come on, obviously.
I'll talk about Uncle now.
Okay. Brilliant. I'd say, first of all, why is Jigga your favourite? And two, if there's because again, is it the Brooklyn thing that's coming out? Because I don't know if that affected your appreciation for hip-hop more than it would have done here.
100%. Like, this was around the time where Biggie and Tupac were beefing and it was East versus West. And I'm listening to Eve and I'm like, is Philadelphia East Coast or West Coast? Because I need to know if I can listen. Like, that's how deep it really was, for real. Like, it was dividing people. It was really, like, it was quite tragic, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But, so, yeah, and it's the same reason that I would always go for Biggie. Number one. Tupac, I love Tupac. I think he's amazing, but he's a poet. I mean, Biggie was a poet too.
I was going to say.
But Tupac, yeah, exactly. Tupac really spoke about like things that was happening in the world, like, you know, quite a broad range of things. Whereas Biggie would also touch on that, but he just had a bit more flavor with it.
Yeah, it's so BK right now. This is so BK. The bias is real right now, man.
I know. The only thing that's not BK on me right now is my accent. And that's because I came back when I was 13 and I'm a lot older than 13 now.
Yeah.
That's my roots. Like, that's my foundation in life. So yeah, my musical preferences is definitely going to be aligned with that. So yeah, Jay-Z being from Brooklyn has definitely influenced him being my favorite rapper, but also because he, to me, it's kind of like, you know, when you compare Biggie and Pac, it's like comparing Jay-Z and Nas. Yeah. It's like, I feel like Biggie always had good tunes. Pac didn't always have good tunes to me. I don't think his production was always good. Sometimes the beat selection was whack.
He had more albums as well, so I suppose you can give him that in it. He had more attempts at failing than Biggie had. Only had 2, but then Biggie was on such a hit rate. I don't know where I'm on both. We all love both, don't we? But I was a Pac stan, like in a little village in Yorkshire. For all the people who've got a bingo card for this podcast, by the way, I usually talk about me growing up in a village in Yorkshire and being the only brown person for like 10 miles. That's a bingo card. That one, everyone can tick that one off now because I always bring that up.
That must have been a crazy experience for you growing up.
It was a bit weird, yeah. But again, loved it. It was great. I can't moan. You know what I mean? I was very privileged. So, but that Pac stanness took me away from Biggie, and then I just absolutely fell in love with Biggie. Like I think now he is probably my favourite. But for 10 years there, it was close. Like, I think I modelled myself on Pac at one point where you're like, get the shaved head, you know, all this for damn, yeah.
Did you feel like you were deep? You were like, I'm a deep guy. Why you liked him? Because I feel like that's why a lot of people say Tupac.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And the thing that took me out of that, you know what it was? It was around the early noughties. People started wearing really bad Tupac gear. Really shit, like whitewashed, like way too big. And I was like, that just looks shit, man. And you're ruining the man's legacy. Stop doing that. And I don't know if it put me off Pac or what, but I realised there's a certain type of Pac fan that I could have well been if it were for a few choices, Joelah.
That's what I was saying. You were like, I'm a deep guy. That's why I like Tupac. That's why I feel like everyone's like, oh, I prefer Nas than Jay-Z because I'm a deep guy.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Jay-Z talks deep stuff too.
Yeah, of course,
I love his charisma. I love his flow. I love his lyrical ability. I love the fact that he don't write nothing down and he just goes in and he will just say what he's saying.
Yeah, that's mad.
I love the little tinge of arrogance that he has in his music.
Little tinge.
I honestly, I rate him. I remember when I first seen Jay-Z.
Oh, go on.
I was watching. It was Jay-Z and Jay-Z and Jermaine Dupri.
Yes.
Ferrari, switching phone
Money
lanes.
ain't a thing.
Money ain't a thing. Yeah.
Mm.
I again remember I was 5 or whatever when Reasonable Doubt came out, so I wasn't up on that. I didn't know about Jay-Z. That was the first time I seen Jay-Z, and I thought they were a duo.
Oh, wow. Jay-Z and JD.
I thought
Imagine
they
that
were
group.
a duo. Yeah, and I thought, oh, I like them.
Wow.
And secretly, I was feeling JD more.
No.
JD. But you know why? I think that's because he had the hook.
Well,
I think he's the one, so I
Yes.
think that's why. Yeah.
Wow.
But then, like as I grew older, 7, 8, 9, I'm getting wiser in my years.
Yeah.
And he came out with was it Big Pimpin'?
Yeah, Big Pimpin' probably. Oh, well.
I think it was Big Pimpin'. It was one of the songs that he came out with. And I remember one day after school, we went on azlyrics.com, and I was in the 4th grade.
Yeah.
I was about 9 or something. And me and my friend Shanika, we were looking at different songs, and we did a Jay-Z song. I think it was Big Pimpin'. I think that's what it was. And Lil' Kim and Cisco, How Many Licks.
Wow.
The kind of music I was listening to. And I remember going on the train, because I had quite a long train journey home, going on the train and just studying the sheets of paper, like just to learn the words to it. And from then I was just hooked as a Jay-Z fan, and continuously I feel like every time he releases music, I'm just more in love. The only album that I wasn't really feeling, but there's still a couple tracks that I love, was Kingdom Come.
Right. I'm glad you said that one, because
that
is not a good album. Like, let's be honest.
No.
For every not good one, I've said this before, he's one of the best people at recovering from an L. Was one of the best. Just always
100%.
he can recover well. So 4 for 4 is incredible. Like, I know people recency bias and stuff, but it's been 3-4 years. It's still great. I love that album.
There's not one song on that album that I don't love.
Yeah, it's a very, very solid, like, all rounds. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm liking new Jigger. I'm liking new nappy Jigger.
Basquiat Jigger.
Basquiat, yeah, like enjoying him. I really am. But okay, so we're going to go in a little bit then into your career and stuff as well, because I had to talk to you, because you've been doing bits. You're doing Premier League stuff, like, and so I've worked in football. I still work in football, so I see these presenters come and go, and I was, oh yeah, Joelah Noble's on again. Okay, so
it's her again. Right.
But I was going to ask you then, doing it all, and I've seen you spitting the Nigerian there to the Nigerian players. Good work.
Yes.
Good. I was going to actually ask you then, out of all the players you've met and the people in football generally you've met, who has the best taste in music?
Oh, the best taste in music. I can't remember. Who was I was talking to one of these players. Oh, I don't even remember, to be honest.
Too many.
Because the thing is, right, on the Premier League show, they really brought me in because, like, I can talk to the players about music and fashion. I mean, I love football as well, don't get twisted. I really love it. But I will be the first one to tell you I'm not a pundit.
Yeah.
I don't know everything about football. I'm going to blame it on my Brooklyn upbringing. We definitely wasn't watching football back then.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate the sport, and I do, I do love watching it. But yeah, in terms of the reason I'm there is because we do speak about music and fashion.
For sure.
But saying that, I really can't think who had.
Or does someone have the worst taste? Is there someone who's just got really bad taste? They all got good taste.
I think it was. Hold on, let me do a quick research, real quick.
100%. Get in there. But I noticed that's what football's going that way. These guys who are playing as well, they don't care as much about the game anyway. When they switch off, they're off and they're doing other things, and I like that.
You know what? That's what I really love about the Premier League stuff. Uncut. The show's called Uncut. That's what I really love about that. And also, I did a thing with Amazon Prime called Kitchen Table Face Off.
Yeah.
And that was pitting the football players against each other from the same team. But we do like a series of random kitchen table games, like Heads Up and Guess Who the Player Is and all of that stuff.
Wicked.
I think they really just come alive when we're not talking about football.
Yeah.
Lives of football. Come on, like, let's talk about that now for once.
Any of them into like, because what's nice to hear for someone who's younger age than me, younger generation than me, let alone younger age, is how much love you have for the 90s. Do you know, are there any other like young players now who look back? Because I can't imagine there are.
I don't even know.
I bet they.
I don't even know.
I bet they're all about Burna Boy and now, aren't they? They're just about that now.
Yeah, but I mean, Burna Boy is amazing. But what I was going to say is I did an interview with Mikel Antonio and we had a little bit of a sing-off. It wasn't 90s music, though. Okay. We were singing Mario, Just a Friend.
Just a Friend, okay.
Yeah.
Banger. Yeah, that
was about like early noughties, maybe like 2002 or so.
I Just Want to Love You, that one as well, man.
Yeah.
I think that's my wife, me and my wife's track. I think that's up there. That Music Soul Child, and that, man. Yeah. Come on, let's go. If we have an R&B pod, we're going there. But,
oh my God, if you have an R&B pod, you need to invite me on. And we're talking about Jill, we're talking about D'Angelo,
yes,
we're talking
please.
about Maxwell, Music Soul Child. Oh my God.
Era.
We're going in.
Anthony Hamilton is another one of my favourites, you know. That man, what a man.
I feel like I don't know enough Anthony Hamilton tunes.
First two albums are just unreal. Sorry for all the listeners. Oh, there's so many listeners of all these Timberland wearing, like Echo Unlimited, heads are listening. They're like, I didn't sign up for Music Soul Child. Sorry, guys, we're gonna bring it. We're gonna bring it back.
They must love it. I think they'll probably love it as well.
Yeah, actually, go broaden your horizons. Exactly. Yeah. So I was going to ask you then. We have a mailbag, basically. So people come in, they're all writing. We've got little bits and bobs on there. And one of the ones is, if you can go to a sporting event with any rapper, which rapper and which sporting event?
It will probably be Snoop, because recently I heard him commentating on a boxing match.
How good was that?
And it was too good.
Yeah.
It was too good. So it will probably be boxing with Snoop.
Yes.
I need to experience that at least once.
His gospel singing on that was a level. The guy went down and he was just singing the hymns, and it was just, he leveled up commentary. He did. He really did.
It's a hidden talent that we didn't know he had.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Another few for you here then, right? I don't know if you're going to get to answer this one straight away, but strangest dreams about rappers? Have you ever had a strange dream about a rapper?
I can think of one straight away, and I'm not willing to tell you, to be honest.
It's one of them.
It's disgusting. It was disgusting. Oh God.
Okay.
P Diddy was in it. Okay.
Wow.
I do not fancy P Diddy.
Wow.
And I never have. But that's all I'm saying about the situation.
Wow. Okay. Anybody else out there who's had odd dreams about P Diddy, please get in touch. We need to know.
I'm so sad that I've told you that now.
So edit that bit out.
Because when I'm more known, and me and P Diddy are friends, and like he invites me to one of his all-white parties at the crib. Yeah. You know what I mean? I can't have him knowing that information.
So hold on. I heard you on that pod, and then yeah. I'll make sure I clip that and put it on all the socials and tag you in all of it. There you go. So people need to know.
Horrible dream.
Horrible.
Nightmare.
Okay, a nightmare. Okay, right. Wow. Okay, that's a level. So another one then. You could own any piece of rap memorabilia or rap merch, or like Slick Rick's got his eye patch. Tupac had his like amazing leather waistcoat thing on All Eyes on Me. Biggie had his Kangol shades. You can own anything. What would you like? And you've got to wear it at either a wedding, a funeral, or a job interview. So what are you going for?
I'm thinking.
Yeah, take your time on this one. I feel it get better results.
Because this one's not easy, because I feel like what stuff do they have? Like, what does Jay-Z have?
Oh yeah, Jay-Z. Yeah, actually. Well, you could wear the Reasonable Doubt cover. He looks pretty smart in that. I liked it when he enjoyed that. The Rockefeller chain. I mean, come on, that was pretty.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty dope.
Yes.
That was pretty dope.
Chain. And where do I have to wear it? Job interview.
Please wear it a job interview.
I'll wear it at all treat. I'm wearing it. One of them. The job interview, the wedding, and the funeral. I'm wearing that.
Okay. It would work in all three.
And you know what else I will say? Just talking about Jay-Z. Do you remember when he released his sneakers? The S. Carters.
Oh my God, yeah. I can't remember what they look like though. I can't remember what they look like at all.
Very simple, classic design.
Classic jigger.
Just white, you know. I had a pick.
Is it? Okay.
I had to.
I remember he went through that phase where he was wearing his white tee, ice white tee, and it was like one arm was out, and that look was it was a look. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying rocking that at a wedding, like just that look.
I would love to see you wearing that whole get up. I think you should.
I love it.
How are you not wearing that now?
How am I not wearing that? Exactly. In my spare time when I clock off, I'll get that back on. Walking around the village. Amazing. I'll get calls. I'll be getting calls. Okay, right. So, man, Joelah, thank you for coming on. I've so enjoyed this. It's been brilliant. It's been a
really
wicked
good
chat, man. Really has. But hit me up on what else is coming for you. Because you've done Rinse, you've done Grime Daily, you've been doing things. What's on the agenda, man?
I just want to look to creating something of my own where I have like the freedom to talk to whoever I want to talk to, about whatever I want to talk to them about. So you should be on the lookout for that because that'll be coming pretty soon. Wicked. And yeah, like I really want to get onto telly. I want to start doing more television stuff. So I'm just going to put it out into the universe that that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
And yeah, see me on your TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we'll be like, look, she came on our pod before any of it, before she was all over it. Yeah, man. Any dreams? Is there any shows that you really want to do? Like where you've been like, that would be like a career box ticked off.
What's that? The hip hop show that Lady Leisha was on it. Maya Jama hosts it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, I know exactly which one you mean as well.
About it the other day and it's just annoying that I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I can't either. But that's the kind of thing. Yeah, I can see you doing that though.
That is perfect for me.
Maya Jama, have a word.
Yeah. I'll be like, we could host together. You know, there's enough space. We're on the same agency, you know, so let's talk about this.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Are you on the same agency? Wicked. That's cool, man. Yeah, man, exactly. I love the energy because every time, I don't know, one, it's nice to always see young people who like really care about the professional element. Like, this is maybe just me coming across really old, but I do feel sometimes after being in a bit of an older stage where I had to grind, like I was making teas for a good 6 months, man, you know, trying to get to where I eventually got to. And I was very happy that I got there, but it was a grind. Yeah. So it's nice to see people who, like yourself, I feel like there's work that you put in that some people may not notice, but I feel like someone who notices what research is and, you know, like actually, so yeah, big up, man. Very much so.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel like it's a different kind of grind these days, isn't it? It's still a grind, but it's just different. Now we have like social media. So we can put ourselves out there more, but then there's so many other people putting themselves out there. So yeah,
I really want to talk about the social media thing with you because I'm feeling that right now, man. Like this last week or so, it's got to that point where I'm like, damn, it's a grind. It is just like, you have to get on it daily. You have to be like engaging. It's like, well, that's not real though, is it? Like the beauty of this podcast has been that it's been quite organic. Like, you know, people are genuinely just like talking instead of like having to talk. And I feel like social can get you there where you're just like, I'm having to talk. And then, I've definitely like had phases where I was just not too long ago, actually, I did take a social media break for like 3 weeks. Wicked. And that's a long time for social media where you feel the pressure to always post something and interact with people like every single day. It's what you say. It's just not real. And it's like you're constantly having to keep up some kind of perception just so people know that you're doing stuff and you're working hard, and so people don't forget about you because it's so easy to
see someone else and forget about the last person you saw. So you need to stay fresh in people's minds.
Yeah.
It's a sad world that we're living in.
But
Do you know what? It's beautiful because there's so many opportunities of social media, and a lot of what I do is on social media. So I'm so grateful for it. But at the same time, it does feel like you just have to do things that maybe you might not be in the mood. I might not be in the mood to put a picture up or to take a picture that day or to film an ad and put it on my story. I might not be in the mood to do that. I might be in a rubbish mood. But then at the same time, it's work. So if you see it as work, then
that's what it is.
You just got to go. If you got a 9 to 5, you might be in a bad mood one day, but you still got to go.
Still got to go. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. This is just tinkering on a really good subject. I was like, this is another hour-long conversation you could have. You should do this. You should do this though. This kind of chat. I like talking to people who are in that kind of mode. So you know what's more valuable, because it's very easy as old people to be sitting here who don't really go on Twitter all day, and you're like, what are you worried about? What are you moaning about? It's like, no, there's a world, there's a universe of people who make a living. You know, that's their living.
Yeah,
so
it is another world. Yeah. There's like Twitch. I haven't even touched Twitch, but that's a whole different situation.
It's a rabbit hole. It is a rabbit hole. It really is. But yeah, but I feel you, and I'm glad that we got to at least touch on that, because you know it's nice to feel that, you know, akin, that spiritual thing. There needs to be, I think there needs to be like a medium. Like D'Angelo's got it. Like he don't need any of that, but you don't see him for ages. It's not fresh in your mind, but he'll still bring a brand. He'll always do great stuff, but there needs to be a medium between that and then where we are. So yeah, anyway, either way.
Like, can you even be a D'Angelo in this day and age in terms of being like unseen for 100 years and then popping back and then everyone loves you? Like I can, in music, I mean, I can see that in like acting, you know, actors don't really need social media profiles, but musicians, I just feel like if you're a musician starting out in this day and age, I just think it'll be really difficult for you to...
Well, have you heard, two people come to mind. Burial is a bit older. So that's about, 10, 15 years older. So he was around social networking, but he just pops up and drops a track a year. But have you heard Salt? I know I talk about them a lot on this pod, but SAULT.
No.
Joelah, man, you've got to go. When you get off, my last conversation is always, what's the last great piece of music you've heard, right? My last great piece I just heard, Salt just dropped an album this year, but people talk about it might be Cleo Soul. People don't know who it is. So it's like, I think Giles Peterson played their first album about 2 years ago or a year and a half ago on his radio station. No one knew who they were. They come out of nowhere. And I was like, that's fun. And the music, oh my days, R&B, soul, funk, African rhythm, everything. It's got everything, jazz, hip hop. And it, you know, in 2020, when everything was kicking off, that was, oh my God, a statement. So yeah, sorry. Okay. Yeah, sorry to go down there.
I'm gonna, don't you dare apologise. I'm gonna listen.
Okay. Sure. So, but for yourself, last great piece of music you heard? Could be old, could be new.
I mean, obviously, I've been listening to Eve, but I want something different. Another artist that I love, and I do feel like she's underrated, is Little Sims. She is someone that kind of disappears and comes back, actually.
Yeah.
Not heavy on social media. So I just rate her. So many different levels. Really amazing. Live, she's amazing as well. So she's released a tune called Rolling Stone. Have you heard it?
I've not heard that one. I heard Woman. I haven't heard Rolling Stone.
Yeah, you need to listen to Rolling Stone because it starts out in a way that you think it's going to be way different to how it actually is, but she gets raw and she gets gully and there's no hook. And I just love it.
I love it when she goes no hook.
Yeah, 3 verses of amazingness from her. So yeah, that's the last piece of great music.
Man, big up Little Sims, man. Big up yourself for bringing on that conversation, man. Because I love where the UK is generally. Like, we've got our own thing. When I grew up, there was none of that. There was not, like, we had it, but it was in little underground clubs, you know, and, you know, it was brilliant. But now it's just beautiful to see artists like that flourishing, man. So yeah, big up everyone.
I know we're supposed to be getting off this call, like, because we are chatting like some chatty patties.
Yeah.
But I need to say that when I first came to England, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, in terms of music, because I'm used to hard. You hear what I've been listening to at 9 years old.
Thugged Out Barbie.
So Thugged Out T.O.B. Hold it down. So like, so to come to England and to hear Blazing Squad doing Crossroads, where I just came back from somewhere where I was looking at Bone Thugs and Harmony, Crossroads, and the deepness of the tune, I was just like, what kind of pop spin shit is this? And that's not even to disrespect Blazing Squad, because shortly after I came here, I actually did I featured in a magazine with them.
Oh, wow. After all that. All right. I didn't know I was going to go there. Amazing.
Basically, there was a magazine called Cosmo Girl.
Right.
It's like Cosmopolitan, but for the younger girl, but it doesn't exist anymore.
Yes.
And there was a call, in like an ad saying like, oh, if you're a Blazing Squad fan, like, you know, come to the audition and do it. I'm going to admit right here, right now, I was not a Blazing Squad fan.
But
I was like, what? I get to be in Cosmo Girl magazine.
Yeah.
I can go on CD UK. Like, okay, yeah. Like, I will do it. I'll go to the audition. I'll let them know how much I love them, even though I really didn't. And I got through. And I'm so sorry that I did that, because I took away an opportunity from someone who actually would have loved it. But they were such nice boys, and I did leave there thinking like, oh, do you know what, I might not listen to your album, but you are like all really great guys.
Still not listening to the album though. I love that. I'm not gonna listen to it, but you're lovely. I love you, but
what you did with Crossroads is disrespectful.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I'm with you. Absolutely.
So
I
that's
agree.
just how I feel. And that's the second piece of information that I wish I didn't tell you on this podcast.
It's a confessional. It's like a confessional.
But now that people are going to be like, oh, she is just sick. He's a horrible person. How, like, I'm there pretending to be a fan so I can get in the magazine.
Yeah, I know. What else has she done? If that's all she's willing to say now, what else has she?
No boundaries, clearly. Listen, I grew up in the gutter, baby.
PK. Oh, man. Love that. Right. I'm going to let you go stalk Eve. Go.
Yeah.
Another one of the things you should have told me is that you're now going to go stalk her.
Oh, that one I don't mind. I will stalk.
100%.
I love her.
And I appreciate you bringing that on, man. It's been so nice to just touch on an artist that doesn't get talked about enough, I feel.
Yeah, so. I did think, like with Jay-Z and Lauren, I thought it's a bit obvious. Like someone's going to bring one of them up. So I just thought, actually, let me talk about something that I was really feeling at that moment in the 90s, something that really meant a lot to me and shaped who I am today, really.
Man, beautiful thing. What a way to end it. What a brilliant way to end it. Well, Joelah, thank you so much. Doors are always open if you want to jump back on and chat, social media, whatever.
You let me know, I'm down. Yeah?
Wicked. Thank you, man. And we'll catch you soon, and good luck with everything.
Take care of yourself. Bye.
Wicked, man. Thank you.